Welcome to the Detailing Down Under podcast, the place for everything auto detailing in Australia right now. Here's your host, Dale Guthrie.
Welcome to the Detailing Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Dale Guthrie. So here we are, episode 2. I have Paul Belczowski from Diamond Detailing in Perth. So I know Paul a little bit. We talk quite often. He's another fellow Gyeon installer as well, like myself. So we always chat here and there, and we talk about what's working and what's not working, and everything in the industry. So yeah, I thought I'd get Paul on and give his thoughts of what's going on over in WA. So welcome, Paul.
Thanks, mate. G'day. How you going?
Pretty good. How's
Good, man.
How's WA life?
Good. It's wet here at the moment. We've had about a week of just heavy rain, which is very uncommon for WA. We're quite a dry, sunny state even in winter. So yeah, keeping dry, keeping warm. Complaining that there's a cloud in the sky, that's normal Perth behaviour.
No.
Yeah.
No, I love Perth.
And congratulations on the podcast, man. It's awesome to see. Awesome to see something Australian based where hopefully, the listeners are going to pick up a bit more local stuff. Yeah.
Nah, thanks for that. So yeah, by the time this one recording, the first episode's already out. So with Matt Gibb. So yeah, jump on and have a listen, and let us know your thoughts and positive, negatives, and like and share and subscribe, as they say. So yeah, we'll get it out there eventually to everyone. Everyone will start getting onto it. So we're working on weekly. So I'm aiming for that and trying to line up some more guests. So and I've got some holidays coming up, so it's going to be a challenge, but I'm definitely up for it. All right, we'll get into it. So as usual, I always start with what got you into detailing, Paul, and where did Diamond really start from?
Yeah. I suppose going back a little bit, I'm a Sparky by trade, worked in the offshore oil and gas industry, and I think I always just grew up with cars in my life. As a lot of people, it's in the blood. You've got an eye for it. You just can't help it. You know what you like and you know what you do. The OCD behaviour, the perfectionist to have nice things, sort of is in the blood, I think, as well. And with my electrical trade, you're doing everything so neat, perfect, and nice, and that came out of it. The offshore oil and gas industry, being away all the time, once my family came along, I wanted to get away from being away from my family. So let's create something, let's start something. And I wanted a bit of a boutique-y, studio-based car care facility that I could just care for cars. I didn't really want to just be a car wash, vacuuming mum's taxi every day and doing the in and out and as many cars as possible. I wanted to sort of spoil new cars, and the more you research, you're like, wow, all these surface protection kind of products, ceramics and everything, leather protection and all of this stuff you can do on brand new cars, and realize there's actually a massive difference between this, I call it the dealership rip, that dodgy package that the dealership tries to sell everybody, versus genuine surface protection and genuine aftercar and new car aftercare. And it was born. Well, I kind of went all in. Got a studio up at an industrial estate in Wangara, and just never looked back. Here I am doing paint protection for brand new cars. Got the Gyeon certification. I being that technical minded, I researched the absolute Jesus out of it, and kind of found that there's a lot of leading paint protection manufacturers around the world, and Gyeon just seemed to be so proactive and so on top of their game, and always constantly changing and upgrading and improving, and just keeping right on top of their products. So I went for a Gyeon training and certification, and stuck with them for that reason. I still genuinely believe that they're the industry leading surface protection manufacturer in the world, alongside a few others. But yeah, Gyeon, I think, also are just so well suited for our Australian and West Australian climate. So that's what I use and recommend.
Yeah,
that's me.
Awesome. No, I'm very much the same. I've only really used Gyeon, and that's sort of all I know. And yeah, they definitely suit our climate, I think, especially where I am as well. What sort of roster were you doing with your offshore stuff? How long were you away from home?
It was varied. I sort of followed the project work versus sort of like just employed by one company and did the grind. So you would be doing, technically it's construction, underwater deep sea oil and gas construction. So you'd chase projects, and you could be doing, usually offshore. If you're offshore, you're even time, which means you're either like doing 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, or 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. Sometimes over in international waters, you'll be 6 or 8 weeks on, and the same off. And so it is good. It is fantastic. I don't regret it. I'm really proud that I'm still a licensed electrician, and I just recently paid for my electrical license for another 5 years or whatever it was. Quite proud to put that back in the wallet. But yeah, but it's just too long. It's nice being home for 3 weeks or 4 weeks at a time, and to be kind of comfortable with the cash flow in your bank, but going away from your family like that, it's heartbreaking. So yeah, that's the deal breaker.
Yeah, I definitely know that feeling. So yeah, if you haven't seen Paul's shop online, it's pretty cool. I don't mind it. It's I've been there and went and visited him one day and had a look, so it's pretty impressive. So what
Thanks, mate.
what other services? So you do ceramics. Is there anything else you throw in there as well?
We we do. It's your ceramic paint protection, which is, there's a lot of varied options there. You've got a lot of different ceramics you can install and offer. On top of the ceramics, an extension from that is obviously like your high temp coatings for engine parts, mainly wheels and brakes as an option. You would coat your wheels, and that helps clean them. Interior protection, really, realistically, it's just broken down into like leather or fabric, your two textiles. You would do leather and fabric, away from applying surface protection. PPF went really big. It's sort of come and gone. I think it's slowly adjusting and finding its place where, small practical mechanical installations. So your door cups or boot lip liners, protectors and stuff to, protect baggage coming out of boots. Little accessories like that, which make sense. We've moved away from doing full PPF installations for a number of reasons, but each to their own. And tint, which seems to be just an extension. We offer tint now as a separate service, but don't push it. Western Australia, being Western Australia, summer is really harsh, probably in the top 3 harshest hot climates in the world. Heat and UV damage, so everybody gets tint, and it's just so often. I think even on my street, my business street alone, there's like 9 tinting shops, plus probably another 2 that are tacked onto like a dent repair guy, and I think one guy's, he does everything. I think it's, you know, dents, paint protection, bait, tackle, lawnmower repairs, and everything else. You know, so it's not really too much of a problem. Everybody goes and gets it from somewhere, one way or another. But realistically, 99.9% of what we do is just brand new cars straight from the dealerships, privately bought and owned already, straight to us, and we just do the coatings. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, awesome. So you are Gyeon certified. Is there any other products is that the only one you're really certified with? And
to be honest, we're probably trained and certified for quite a number of them, and we don't really sort of jump up and down about it too much. Probably the top, and anyone listening that has a knowledge for what coating manufacturers there are out there, I'm probably trained and certified to use probably the top 5 or 6 of them. We have started talking to Wax is Dead Australia, Ben, and we're now sort of been accepted and sort of made an installer for Wax is Dead just recently, and I think their products are very much the closest to Gyeon that you're going to get. You know, for all the right reasons. They're varied. They suit our climate, and just have a really high standard of product. So yeah, and really, if we're just, the way that I structure the business is just, if someone rings up and wants paint protection, realistically, you're going to recommend Gyeon because you just know it's not going to fail. You're not going to have any problems with it, and it's suited for our climate. Got to keep saying that's the whole point of paint protection. But if somebody rings up and they've already done a little bit of research, or they've fallen onto a website and they've fallen in love with it, and I have to have this applied to my car, do you do this? Yes, we do. We do have access certification to that product, and we can install it for you, no problem, and we do it. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I know with your weather over there, how do you go with installs? Is it a certain time of the day, or first thing in the morning? Do you try and wrap them up, or late at night, or how would you normally work your day?
Yeah, far out. It changes. It drastically changes. Where even just geographically, where we're located in Perth, and we're not too far away from the coast. I think everybody in the whole of Western Australia is not far from the coast one way or another. So we're not far from the coast. So there's that to take into consideration, where our workshop is west facing, so we get the sea breeze. When the sea breeze comes, it comes into the shop. But you know what, like time of year, time of day, it changes so much. We can go from just such a dry day or temperature conditions, really dry, where you're applying the product and it's flashing off before you can put the bottle down, before you can put the applicator down, turn around with your microfiber to wipe off, it's flashed off, and you're spinning out trying to get it off quick enough. And if you're following the applicator's instructions saying apply one whole panel at a time, no mate, no, not today. To being really, really humid like it is now, where it's been raining for a week, and the rain just in Perth doesn't go anywhere, it just sits. So really high humidity, and it can get really cold, or it can just warm right up through the day. So there's not one time or trick to it. You just coat to your conditions. I know yourself and a lot of people are building booths or getting, you know, air cons installed, and I've used both. I've tried it all, and my biggest one is, I think I like to have airflow and just a big open area. I think that if you start getting too concealed, or having sort of a refrigerated air environment, it you can run into different kinds of problems. So I just find I've got 2 roller doors. My roller doors are sort of one at the front, one at the back, so east west. I just open everything up and just install, and it tends to work. If the day is too still, I just get one of those big industrial fans and just get that lightly blowing, just a little bit of blowing, which you would know yourself, Dale. Like when you do your application, you apply an area and even just you blow it with your mouth over the top, and you can see that flash off. Just tends to work. So no trick there. You're just adjusting constantly. Sometimes you just have to put it down and come back an hour later. Or
Yeah. No, I got a split installed, but mainly because we're so cold down here. So that my drama was the room being so cold, and I could do a whole car and it still wouldn't have flashed off. So it was just like I need a bit of. I wouldn't do that, but you could. That was sort of what it was like. So you need a bit of a heat just to sort of flash it off a bit so it would work. So you sit it on 20 degrees or whatever, and it's fine. And you just try and keep your humidity down. So that's the only reason why I got it. It wasn't for anything else, but yeah, it was mainly for that. And then going into PPF, I like a bit more temperature controlled as well. But yeah, that it's already paid for itself lately. It's been so cold. You go out and it's like 11 degrees in the morning, and then you put that on, and it's not as bad. But not that I'm that soft, but it is. It's a bit of a luxury.
I think the older you get, the more aircon systems you need. I definitely am feeling the heat more and more every summer. It does get hot. I've got nothing fancy by all means, but a little bit of a weather station in my shop where it's got also a sort of the interior tells you humidity and temp inside, and then a probe, sort of a bit of a station extension to that goes outside and tells you outside temp. And, like it gets quite hot in summer, you got outside, in the shade, you're getting up to, I think I've got a few photos of it being, I don't know, the humidity, like really low, it gets really dry, but, 44 outside in the shade, but inside it's gotten up to like 48, 49 in the shop, where it's just baking that top sort of tin panels, and it's just like an oven, and there's no breeze, and you're dying. You're starting to write a letter to the family. This is it. Finish the car, and I'm dropping.
All right. Yeah. All right. So what's I know there's plenty of detailers over your way as well, and yeah, there is quite a few. So what's the I like to call it the culture. What's the culture like over in Perth or in your area? Do you get on with other detailers? Do you push work to them when you can, or when you whatever?
Yep. Definitely a culture. It's a funny one for such, it's Australia's biggest state, and it's so spread out from the top to the bottom of Western Australia, and everyone knows everyone, even though it's so big. There's definitely no territory with, you see in America where you probably only drive a couple of Ks to your area, and that's that. Everyone knows everyone. As far as the detailing industry, you have your people like yourself. I definitely do refer. A lot of people always do call up, and they just want, and unfortunately, with the way Google categorizes us and Instagram, and then just in general, we're either, what is it, Dale? We're either a car wash cleaning service or a vehicle valet service, or we're a detailing. We're detailing. So people will ring and say, I need you to clean all the sand, horsehair, and kid spew out of my car. When can you do it? I'm on my way. And so we have a circle of recommended people that just do the cleaning, and they love it. And there you go. We'll sort of refer people that way. The detailing, like the bespoke detailing, there are some absolute artists, like they are over here. I won't mention names just because I'll forget people, and I don't want to offend anyone. There's so many legendary artists over here that are just, nut and bolt detailing, that get in and under the classic cars, the restoration stuff, wet sanding, color sanding, orange peel removal. They'll get into it, and I still truly believe they don't charge enough for what they do. But yep, we have that network, and I send people that way. And I think geographically, I'll ask the customer, where are you located, north of the river, south of the river, somewhere like that, and kind of say, all right, call this one on this one. There's a bit of a choice. And same as paint protection, we do get too busy to take on, or people just literally, they want it done right now, and you can't accommodate for that. So there's a bit of a network of ceramic coating paint protection facilities around that I have a lot of respect for, and we'll refer to geographically as well, or depending on what type of car that the customer has, to what's going to suit the installer. There's Gyeon Gyeon have a very limited amount of installers in each state, and for all the right reasons, respectfully. So you don't want the same product installer on every street corner. Just causes problems. It'll kill the quality of installation. I think there's just no way of making sure all of these guys just are doing the right thing all the time. So we'll put the right customer in touch with the right installer, geographically. Yep, definitely. I'd like to name them all, but I just, as I said, I wouldn't remember them all, and I'll leave someone out. So yeah, we won't go down that path.
No, that's all right. I'll follow a couple of them. I know they do some pretty cool work over there. I won't mention them, but yeah, there is some good ones, definitely. So probably back on coatings, did you, before you went certified, were you using just other coatings, or just Gyeon other ones as well? And had a bit of a crack at installing, and then thought Gyeon's the way to go, or how did that sort of pan out?
Yeah, I think you pretty much nailed it. Way before I even became an installer, and I was working as a Sparky offshore, I'd start reading and researching, and like, wow, look at this stuff. And I think I can't remember the first few products that I got my hands on to try. You start nerding out on all products when you first discover this whole new world, and you want to try it all on your car, like car enthusiasts do. Like, I want to make the car shinier. Oh, there's something else, and you're using waxes, and then you're sort of finding out that the limits of wax, and then you're like, what's this polymer sealant stuff? And one product that I really early started using, fell in love with, and still use to this day, and I think it's above and beyond anything in its class, is Menzerna. It's the polymer sealant from Menzerna. I can't think of the name of it now. It's outstanding, and we use it, and it's a good practical coating for the right application, I suppose, for temporary short term. I sort of tell people that realistically, it's sometimes it's even this stuff that I only charge. If someone wanted to put on their car, I'd only charge them a couple of $100 to put it on. It's just like wax on, wax off. I think dealerships, probably that's the limit of their paint protection that they're trying to sell nowadays, and trying to charge $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for. But yeah, it's nice. Yeah. And then got in, I think probably the first ceramic that I used was the Gyeon consumer range. Got my head around it and thought this stuff's great, and got certified. So my first certification was also Gyeon, where we got the official training, I flew a guy over at the time that was doing their training and certifications. Flew him over for a couple of days, and we did the formalities, and took it from there. I think he came over. I think to do the whole lot, it was in 2 stages, and credit to Gyeon, like they're really stringent and made sure that everything was in place, the training, that you knew everything, the structure, the whole lot was really, really above and beyond to make sure you're doing the right thing, to the cars, customers, and the coatings. Yeah, and away we went. Once I sort of got a taste for it, that was it. I was away. Give me more.
Yeah. Also, because you're so far away, sorry. How do you go getting products these days? Do you have to pre-order for like months ahead, or how do you go getting product with shipping these days?
Yeah, it's a pain. Yeah, it's not too bad. COVID created problems for everyone. WA is, I sort of joke that WA is like the country town of the world. It's the furthest away from everything, and anything that's going to come in internationally gets to the East Coast first, and then eventually, if there's anything left, it makes its way to WA. Not just Gyeon, just everything in general. So yeah, us getting stuff, it's all ordered from over east. They're really good, and as a HQ, they're on top of it. They do run out of stuff, but everybody does in every industry. The biggest killer for us, prices are a little bit higher, because of freight. Our prices are a little bit higher, I suppose, because of that cost of freight to get stuff over. So I just preempt. Yeah, I sort of order. I do quite a big order once every fortnight, probably. And then about 3 days later, realise I've forgotten something and do another order, as always. Yeah, but we're on top of it. It did get crazy for a while there. You're buying the consumer maintenance products, so your bathes, like your washers, shampoos, your Gyeon Cure, which is like your detailer / coating spray. So that's all 400 ml, 500 ml size bottles in carton sizes that at one stage there we had to pay air freight. Air freight costs per weight to try to fly per kilo per litre over. So that kind of killed things a little bit. But yeah, we're on top of it. I think anyone using COVID for an excuse for logistics now is a bit of a shit excuse. It's all back on track. Yeah. I'm calling it Australia Post. Get your shit together. I'm calling it. Yeah.
Another one I've noticed is you have your own. I was going to talk about retail products. You have your own sort of maintenance products as well. I see you post every now and then of what you got going on there.
Yes, and for that exact reason, there was a point there. On every handover that I do. Every handover, every day, we're giving the clients a complimentary bottle of a maintenance shampoo. Ultimately, the Gyeon, you're installing Gyeon coatings, so stick with their maintenance stuff because it is just outstanding. So the Bathe Plus, which is used and recommended to maintain their car, and it's that simple. On top of your other bits and pieces, and it was impossible and it's just so hard to get for a stage there that I thought, right, we need to come up with an idea really quick to keep up that backup with our clients without just complaining. So we came up with our own products, and I didn't do nothing dodgy, nothing sketchy. We didn't do any reverse engineering or anything like that. I just came up with a bit of a twist on a formula that I'd been using for years myself on a maintenance shampoo. So a maintenance car wash shampoo. that I just tweaked and made sure was all kosher, and you had to do all your MSDS and sort of safety stuff with. So I bought out a maintenance shampoo called Pro Shampoo, a snow foam, which we call Pro Foam. Stayed up all minute for that one. And in it, and an interior milk, which is called milk. So yeah, I really put my brain to that. But 3 really nice products, locally sourced. All the raw chemicals, all the chemicals are locally sourced. The bottles are locally sourced. The labels and everything were designed by myself, but printed by a local company. So all just WA sourced and made and local, and it's kind of a bit of a fail safe and really good product. So yeah, we have those on offer. They are for sale on handover, as I said, with every coating that we do. I hand a little kit over as much as I can, or as much applies to the job that we did. And they're good. Yeah, Diamond brand. And it's nice and it's fun to do a little bit of extra like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that, especially the milk. I was like, yeah, that's a bit different. It's catchy.
Yep. Yeah, the interior milk, and it is really good. It's water based, so it's not sticky. It does have a UV protectant in it, so it is not just a maintenance product, but it's a protectant. It's a cleaner. It's got an antibacterial sort of sanitization property in it as well. And you can use it on everything. You can apply it to your leather, and it soaks in what it needs to, and you can buff it back to a factory shine. You can put it on your rubbers, like your door seals and stuff, to keep those nice and working properly. Your plastics, your steering wheels and headrests and indicator stalks, it cleans, but also just restores. So, and as I said, I've been using that product, a variation of that product, for 6, 7, 8 years or whatever now, and I've sort of made a consumer grade product of it, and it's so good. It's so nice. Yeah, people come back by 3 or 4 bottles at a time, so often. So it's great. Yeah, can hardly keep up. So it's good.
That's awesome. Another side gig for you. Sticking to products, what new products, or would you like to see in the industry? Is there anything that you'd love to be invented, or anything coating wise?
Yeah, good question. Far out. Yeah, that's $1 million question, isn't it? Really? Because everyone's got their pen out ready to write down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's too much of a hole in any area. Too much. Drying cars is a big one for me. When you're doing it commercially, where even if it's a brand new car and it's spotless, we do a really comprehensive clean and decontamination process. So it gets washed and then rinsed and washed again, and then the chemical decon process, and then rinsed again and poured in, and you have to dry the car, and you can towel dry the bulk of it off with, and again, Gyeon, those big silk dry towels are just, there's nothing like it. So you use 3 or 4 of those, soak up the bulk, but you've got to get rid of all of those water traps. And I've got a big industrial, awesome air compressor, but it's still not enough with the blower on top. It's still not enough, volume, not enough pressure to blow out all of those water traps for, about 10 minutes that you're doing it for. So you got your air blowers, and I just blew my little handheld one up. So I just ordered a big boy. If anyone's heard of the big boy,
I got one.
Yeah. And I got the big daddy, and I can't help myself. So I got on there and I'm like, well, there's this one, but there's another one better than it. Oh, and then there's one better than that. Oh, and then there's this one with a plus written on the end, so it must be even better. I'll order that one.
Yeah, it's a good brand. They're awesome.
Yeah. So that was missing. You know, I think I needed that. That was a hole just to get that done. Where I was trying to sort of chase my tail with a little handheld blower. It was an automotive specific one. It wasn't a leaf blower. Don't worry, folks out there.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and it actually blew up in my hand because the cable shorted out inside. Mate, I've never jumped that high in my life, but that was it. That it died. It literally died a week ago, and I ordered the big boy. So she's on her way. But products, you know, there isn't in the industry. A lot of people ask me for just a good all round interior. You know, you have a spray detailer like Cure is really good. Cure. Gyeon Cure as a spray detailer, because it is a sealant as well, is a really nice, just, you know, people that enthusiasts, you know, people that just, the owners that own their car and they wash it, they dry it, they love it, it's been coated, it looks fantastic, but you just want that final go around and wipe it down with something to make it sparkle, get rid of those few dried water runs and stuff. There's not one single product that's out there that suits everyone. Cure is good, but it can get streaky on darker cars. But that's what I do recommend for people. But there's not one interior wipe down detailer. There's not like an interior detailer spray that you can just go around. You know, you've vacked it, you've maybe cleaned up a little dirty patch here and a bit of sun cream off the headrest there and this and that and the other, and it looks good and it's clean, but you just want to go around now and just do the final detail wipe down. There's not one product for that. And I think a little bit of a sales kick here, but like that's what interior milk does.
Yep.
You know, it does it fantastically. And as I said, it's water-based, so you're not wiping, it's not getting greasy. You're just finishing that interior off back to how it should be, and it looks factory finished. But short of that, that's probably the biggest hole in the industry is interior products. For us, as like a more of a commercial professional, whatever you want to call it, there are a whole range that consumers don't know about of, you know, your professional chemical suppliers that we go to get the bulk stuff, like your acid cleaners and degreasers and stuff like that. That we know, you know how to use, but would be unsafe in someone's shed because it's, you know, it's too concentrate, too strong. You can get in a lot of trouble with it. Yep. And what else? I think ceramic coatings can be DIY, but I think there's too many on offer for people to DIY that are being taken advantage of by your non-trained, non-certified detailers, cleaners, mobile guys that run around sort of just doing ceramic coating here and there, that are maybe just like, oh yeah, they pick one or two up. You know, they pick a ceramic coating up once a month or once every couple of months and they whack it on, you know, mobile. And I think that maybe needs a bit of a change. Apart from that, yeah, I think the industry's quite covered and we're quite lucky, and with our weather and conditions in Australia as a whole, that we've got everything kind of stitched up. Yeah.
Yep. I know. I don't want to be biased, but that Gyeon interior detailer spray is pretty good. I've heard some good reviews about that. I use it. Yeah, just doesn't leave any shine. Just takes it back to OEM how it should be, and yeah, it's very good. Nice. What could improve in the Aussie detailing industry, you reckon, as a whole? Not so much products, maybe. I think we talked a bit about that, but is there anything that what we could learn from overseas, what they're doing over there? I'm not sure if you keep an eye on what everyone else does over there, but is there something that we could get better at, you reckon?
Yeah, I'm never opposed to, you know, further educating, further training and getting better at. We definitely could all do with more training anyway, regardless, whoever we are. But I don't know. The biggest difference I see in Asian countries, for if we're referring to, say, your kind of that high-end studio-based protection facility and detailing. Asian countries and Europe tends to, I just see in these, the few that I follow and that you see on Instagram and online, man, their facilities are state of the art. Like they have some fancy fit outs, and we just can't. We can't afford that in Australia. Tradies are too expensive, mate. They've got awesome tiling and the walls are done beautifully and glass everywhere, and the lighting is, mate, as I said, as you know, I'm sparky by trade, that some of this lighting that these guys have in their shops, I couldn't afford. Someone's making a fortune. So yeah, that's a big difference. I don't think it's a necessity or anything that we need to change over here, but it's a big difference that I notice. And I think as much as you can, everybody needs to have their facilities to the best standard they possibly can. Keep it clean, keep their photos nice and sharp and clean. But it's the quality insurance to keep everything really nice. Everything's put away and clean and all that. The vehicles are safe. The vehicles are done properly, and as a standard, they always come out really well. But no, I don't think we're lacking. Do you think there's anything?
Nah,
we're not missing out on anything that I see.
Nah, I think we punch above our weight a fair bit over here, and probably one thing with the studio appearance is that I'm big on having cool looking shops, or people in Australia having cool looking shops. I reckon it's awesome. And I think when I sort of did my bit up on mine, and then I remember you were saying, use that to your benefit, and it gets you more work. It's all about appearance and how you come across, and when you have a good looking studio compared to everyone else, it definitely gets you more work. Funny enough,
it does. Yep. We get a lot of compliments. A lot of people, the first thing they say is, mate, we just checked out your photos, your profile, and mate, the work that you do and your premise is outstanding. We want to be a part of that. It's an emotional sale. You've made the sale already. They've ticked the box. Yep. Definitely. And the detailing industry, and this is what you're covering as a whole. We're not excluding the mobile guys. No. You don't have to have a big fancy studio, but a nice car. It doesn't have to be expensive, but clean and everything in its place, and bottles and products that aren't falling apart, and all of that kind of thing really make a difference. And your personal presentation. A nice uniform of some kind. Don't keep it all ripped and crappy. If you don't care, you don't care, and if you're busy, great. But I think that makes a big difference, because you're in that appearance industry. You're trying to take something and make it look better. You see these franchise car wash dudes driving around. They're still using those. Remember, you go to Bunnings and you buy the letterbox numbers, like the 1 and the 2, and then you make up like you put it on your letterbox. There's a van driving around our way. I see him on the freeway every now and then. He's got his mobile number with these stick-on letterbox numbers. One's half peeling off, and the rest of it's kind of it's not painted on, but it looks terrible. And the van's falling apart, and it's like, oh mate, I don't think anyone's going to call you on appearance to get you to come and do their car if they had any respect for it. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Appearance is a big thing, and I've definitely experienced it, and I think it's definitely beneficial to you. And I know we have some pretty cool looking shops in Australia, and there's I know of a couple of good ones. I won't drop names, but they're very nice.
You have your favourites.
And
you definitely have your favourites, and then you got your someone will just blow it out the water again. Someone will do a fit out, or a new guy will start up, or whatever it may be, and you just see this studio and you go, wow, rightio,
Yeah.
I need to lift my game again. This guy's just raised the bar. Yeah, so good. And seeing a lot of new products come out too. There's a few companies doing it, but that hexagonal lighting that a lot of people are getting done in their shop, which those waterproof tiles, the interlocking tiles, the flooring, and the hexagonal lighting, both are so neat and tidy and look really good, but almost have been saturated so much now that I stay away from it because it's almost done too much. And that's it, yeah. But each to their own. It's not a bad thing. I don't want to offend anyone that's got hexagonal lighting in their shop because it looks awesome. It looks freaking awesome, man. Yeah.
I think that on the wall, there's a few places putting that on the walls. I think that looks just as better than being on the roof. And
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and the tiles you're talking about, the Swiss tracks, I've got a similar one in mind, but mine was never designed to clean cars in for a start. So I wanted them, but where with my setup, they would trap water. I don't have a proper runoff for that, so I definitely wanted them, but I know they're going to trap water, and then I think that'll add to the humidity in the studio. So I thought, well, at the moment I can squeegee it all out and get rid of it. So if I put the tiles in, I'm snooking
down the street.
Yeah,
I'm the same. I just didn't want to get caught into there being any retained water and then there being a smell or things like that, mozzies and things. We get definitely mozzies around. So just as dry as possible. Yeah,
I think in a wash bay they'll be awesome, but having the whole shop, but they definitely look awesome. I'd probably still have some, but yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'll get into my standard top 5 questions. So I did share these with you this time. What was your first ever detailing job?
I didn't look.
Oh, that's all right.
First ever detailing job. First ever. So let's not say it first ever paid, because it was probably like my wife gave me some money or something like that. But like it was probably family. First ever paid. I reckon it was a couple of year old big Nissan Patrol, white chalky paint, and a really well used, well lived in Nissan Patrol. And I did it in my garage at home, and it only just fit. Like I couldn't access the roof because there was only like 200 mil between the rack and my roof, so I couldn't sort of reach up there and do it. So I had to drive it out to do the roof, and I did full paint correction, complete paint correction, restored all of sort of the plastics and everything because they were faded. I said it was white, so yeah, it was chalky. Bought it all back. I had a machine. I didn't do it by hand, but it was sort of just a bit of a cheapie at the time. And then just went to town on the interior, shampooed, and not dodgy, but you're working it out as you go, like everyone else is. That would have been, and I can't tell you how long ago that was, but yeah, I think I'd put it down to that white Nissan Patrol that's probably etched into my brain for the rest of my life. Everyone in WA's got a full drive of some kind. It's a full drive state, so yeah. Not uncommon.
It's like that everywhere nowadays. Like everyone used to have a Commodore, now everyone's got a full drive.
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan of paint correction. What's your favourite polisher?
Favorite machine?
Yeah. If you what you've used
now, it's Roops all the way for me.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a surfboard boogie board Holden versus Ford kind of topic where you're either Roops or your Festool, and I've not laid my hands on Festool at all, and they look fantastic. But Roops, 100%. And I just recently bought the latest sort of big Roops 21 Mark III. I think they're up to. Put us up to like our 6th or 7th machine I've got in the shop, Roops machine. They're great. Love it. Wouldn't look back. Yeah. The customer support had a little bit of a problem with that one, with, out of the box, and it was just no questions asked. So nice to use, low vibration. I had to jump on I've still got my first machine polisher. Won't mention brand, but it, just a cheapie, and it's still going. It's mint, as in it's really good, and it's it just vibrated the hell out of me. I did a bonnet with it, and it shook me to bits. So yeah, Roops all the way.
Yeah, we got it pretty good these days. Ceramic or PPF?
Ceramic.
Yeah.
Or that. Ceramic on PPF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best detailing tool or product invented
for
yourself? Something that you go to.
Apart from what we do, the ceramic is what we install. That's the whole picture. Apart from that being a product, I don't know, man. There's so much. I'm trying to think of the one thing I use every day, but there's a few. We don't do corrections every day because a lot of stuff we do is brand new. The pressure washer of any way, shape, or form. A pressure washer is vital.
Yep.
And probably back to, you know what? I'm going to sort of go away from all of that because it's just what you use every day. My vehicle hoist.
Oh yeah.
Is it? That was the best single purchase I've ever made. For my old bones, the older you get, the better it's become. To get the car up, even if you're not taking wheels off, just to set the car up. You drive your car over, like us in our industry, we use like the scissor hoists where there's no posts or anything like that in the way, so you've got full access around the car. It only lifts it up to about 1.5, 2 meters. So it puts the center of the wheel at just below eye height, sort of, shoulder height is about the max height. So just even to set the car up and put the blocks on and lift it up, and you've got access to sort of the bottom seals and underneath the guards a little bit and the tailpipe, and just puts the car in a different light, and you've got access, and you're not on the ground. And it just takes care of everything. So that's it. That's number one. Yeah,
I'd love one of them. They're definitely the way to go, I think.
Oh, treat yourself.
So many uses. I actually want mine in the floor, so that's probably the other drama.
And you can recess them. Yeah, that does cause other problems in itself, but yeah, if you're fitting out a new studio, I think sort of try to go down that route of either, if you're going to go some floor tiles again, back to that, you could maybe not have to recess the concrete. I know some of the concrete slabs, just as a standard, are only a certain 200 mil thick or something, maybe thicker.
Yep.
But then if you recess that concrete out and put a hoist on it and try to jack up 3 ton on thin concrete, you're going to fall into a problem there too. So a few things to take into account, but yeah,
it's a bit of, I've seen it done on YouTube and it looks like a bit of work. So it'll hold up space for a fair while, I think, unfortunately, but they're definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
Probably one more, your interests outside of detailing. What do you like to do to wind down? And
I kind of joke my sort of life goals have changed. All I want to do is go home and go to sleep, but I'm so tired all the time. Business owner with wife and 3 kids. It's family, is number one. That's the priority. It's the whole reason I sort of set this structure up. Even though really your business has to sort of come first in a way, because you're looking after the family, you're doing it for your family. Outside of that, I sort of like the health and fitness industry. I train. I train at the gym, a couple of different gyms, and I train at least once every day, keep myself healthy and fit. Outside of it, I'm also studying Cert 3 and 4 in health and fitness to become a PT, just for interest sake, for information's sake. I'm not planning on leaving the industry or anything, but yeah, just so I'd further my education. And it's something I like. And yeah, I'm not a full car bogan. We don't have Rocky pictures up in the house and, autographed bonnets and things like that. I love cars, have a mad passion for them, but we're not it's not all through our house. Yeah. So just family, health and fitness, just looking after ourselves. And yep. That's it, I think.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. I'll think of 20 other things later.
Yeah. No, that's cool. All right. I know you got a busy day, so and myself as well. So thanks for squeezing this in. I know we only talked about it the other day. So how can everyone reach out to you if they want to contact you?
Yep, you can follow me any way you like, just not in person. So Instagram is just Diamond_Detailing_Perth. Is probably my number one social media platform. I'm lazy and I just make that share to Facebook and everything else. Website we're always working on. You can check it out. DiamondDetailingPerth.com.au. But check out Insta. Give us a follow if you want. If you don't say good day. Give us a holler when you do finally listen to the podcast. Give us some feedback. Definitely give Dale a follow as well. Detailing Down Under podcast. The biggest way to help people in the podcast industry get up is to really get on there and write a rating and a review on your podcast listener, wherever it may be. Apple's the biggest one. Unfortunately, it is. So get on there, write Dale a big review and a rating and bump him up the charts and give him some love, man. That's it. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm still learning the ropes of this pod game, so I'm as I keep saying, I'm no expert at everything, so bear with me, and I am trying to still run a business and other stuff on the side that I do, so it's we'll make time and we'll keep it going pretty much, so it's just another hobby altogether.
Awesome.
All right, thanks for your time.
Pleasure, man.
All right,
catch up with you. See you later.
No worries.
See you, folks.
Thanks.
That was another episode of the Detailing Down Under podcast. Subscribe now for everything auto detailing in Australia.